So I have a button on my Notion right now that runs the numbers on a new migration and tells me roughly what I'm going to get paid before I even say yes to the project. That same dashboard also tells me when to give Oakley her heartworm medication, 2 completely jobs, and I've combined them together into one place that I actually look at and keep up with, which is what a business like little hub is supposed to do, right? So that's what we're going to build today. Maybe excluding the heartworm medication unless you need to add that. If you've ever opened 7 tabs, a Google Doc, a Notes app, sticky notes, just to kind of figure out what you're supposed to be working on right now, this video is for you. In the next little while, I'm going to show you how to set up the business portion of a Notion hub that I've created recently that keeps track of everything in one spot. And what I really love about it is that Notion has a phone app, which means that even if I am at Target, even if I am at work, even if I am walking to Oakley, if I have an idea or something that I'm like, oh, I need to remember to do that, then I can jot it down and it will be there on my computer when I get home. Yes, I know there are tons and tons and tons of apps that do this, and I've used all of them, probably. I have used reminders, I use Apple Notes, I use all of them. But what I love about Notion, and yes, they're all available on computers if you use Apple or on your phone, they're pretty available everywhere. But what I found is that even though I can sometimes make those all talk to each other, I would end up with things here and things there and things over here. And at least in Notion, I've gotten to where everything has a home, but it's also all in one place. So I've created a business dashboard home that houses a content tracker, a client tracker, an income tracker, all the trackers, plus other things as well. That way I can jump in and see everything. And then maybe if this goes well and you like it, I will branch into how I have also integrated this into my other daily life stuff that's not business related. But we're going to do this with no overwhelm. There's not going to be 40 tabs. I'll even show you how to customize it so that if what I'm doing for me doesn't work for you, you can change it so that it will work for you. And the goal here is to not abandon it in the next week, but to keep using it and tweaking it so that it does actually work for you. Hi, I'm Delana. I have been building tech and systems for online businesses for about 10 years now. And I also do migrations over at Kit. I help business owners understand and set up the back ends of their businesses. And I do most of this while working a full-time job. That is not Kit. So my goal here is to try to show you how to do this stuff around what a real week schedule looks like, not the ideal entrepreneur free 20-hour week schedule. We're working this around full-time jobs, dog walks, part-time job projects, all of that fun stuff, which is why it was so important to me to figure out a way to keep track of everything in one spot. Because for me, I've got my work schedule in my calendar. I've got client stuff over here, like maybe in ClickUp, or maybe I'm trying to track it on my calendar, or maybe I just have a list of things that I try to get done. But really, it was getting really complicated trying to keep track of everything in my brain and where did I have it saved? What list am I supposed to be looking at today? What am I supposed to be doing for this person? What am I supposed to be doing for this Kit project? Is there anything I need to remember for work tomorrow? Do I need to do something for Oakley? Is it time to buy groceries? All of it. So then in my quest to figure out the best plan for keeping track of all of this stuff kind of more or less in one place, I decided to dive back into Notion. I played around with it in the past. I liked it, but I kind of fell away from it because I can't say that it didn't do what I needed it to do, but I think I didn't have a vision of what I wanted it to do. And therefore, I would end up with just pages with links to pages and not really have a plan for any of it. And I think if you treat Notion that way, I think it can get a little overwhelming because it just feels like tunnels and tunnels and tunnels of files. You have to because it can end up that way, but I think if you have a plan for the way that you want it laid out, I think it's a super powerful tool. And I'm super excited to show you how I've been using it. Now, before we get into building anything fancy, here is one thing that you can do right now to get started. I just want you to open a fresh Notion page. Call it home. Mine is called Life Dashboard. I'll kind of show you the breakdown of that, but we're only going to focus on the business side today. But that single page that you make is going to become the front door to everything. Your business, your life, your goals, all of it. And everything else that we make today is going to link back to that page, and I'll show you how to do that. It won't be just a little link. I think most people skip this part or don't know how to set this up, and that's why their setup feels a little bit scattered. Because if you don't kind of have a vision for what you want your dashboard to look like, it's very easy to just end up with pages of links. And that doesn't really help, because you have to click into everything to see it. We're not going to do that. I'm going to show you something better. Okay, so this is what I open my Notion to every day. This is my overarching full life dashboard. I did start with the template from this. I'll link it in the comments. I got it from the Notion store, and then I just kind of tweaked it from there. I liked starting with a template because I feel like starting with templates is the easiest thing to do. because it helps you to have like a vision and then you just kind of tweak that for you. There's a free template that I got from the store and I will share, again, I'll share the link to it. I'm not going to take credit for the whole design of this because I did not fully design this myself. And then I just tweaked it. First of all, the colors, because I am a purple girl. And then I just edited, what's linked here and all of that. I added my own trackers in here and all that kind of stuff. So this is my overarching page. I'm not going to go into how to build this page today because I really just want to focus this on the business page, but I just wanted to kind of show you like, this is where I land. This is kind of what combines home and work into one spot that I can look at. And then when I want to dive more into business stuff, like I'm working and I need to see specifically what's over there, I click and go into the business dashboard, which is right here. Now, I did set this up to be similar to the other page, just in layout. I really like the 3 columns. That's very easy for me to see. And I can do quick links and that sort of thing. So for now, let's take a look at the business dashboard. Okay, so I did model this slightly after the other page, like the 3 columns. And I like being able to have quick links and then also see my to-do list like really up in my face, like, girl, you need to get this done. So that's what's here. So this is like my main overall to-do list. And then I have a content tracker just below. And then my kit projects here that I need to keep track of. Over here then I also have a money tracker. And then these are just kind of pages that I haven't figured out what I want to do with just yet. They were in there already from previous attempts at using notes. So they're just kind of sitting here because they have information on them that I don't want to lose. So they're kind of there, but you can obviously put whatever you would like here or just take the section out altogether. And then I have tools because I'm kind of revamping how much I spend each month on tools. And this is currently where I'm at. And I want to, see if there's stuff there that I can trim out or if I need to add something. And then over here on the right, I have some quick links. So this takes me to client pages. And then I also have buttons here to make things as I need it. I can add income real quickly over here. I can just click on this, input the information, and then it tells me how much that project's going to pay. So and I know you're not here just to see mine. We want to build one. So I'm going to come over here and start a new page. I'll just go back to my life dashboard. So basically what I've done is I have taken this life dashboard and everything else is linked underneath it. So everything that's in my Notion right now, personal, business, everything is linked to this page. So I'm just going to come down here and actually just start a new page just right here. And I'm just going to do page. Now, if you're in a fresh account without anything else, like you'll just have a new page to start from, but I'm just going to start a new page linked on my dashboard. Now you can start by adding a cover. If you want to do that, they have lots of covers that are in here. You can change them. You can go to Unsplash and get some. For some reason, it's being kind of slow to load today. So I'm just going to grab a cover. It will also randomly pick one for you. Same thing with the icons. It will also randomly pick one for you, or you can randomly choose other ones, or you can come in here and pick a specific one. Or what they've also added is icons, probably not new, but they also have options for icons where you can choose something specific. And then you can also choose if you want it to be a specific color. So now we have a purple bathtub. And you want to give every page a name. So I would call this something like, something like that. And then really like you have a whole blank page here that you can put anything that you want on it. So I like the first thing actually that I do is I come over here to the settings for the page and I make it full width. So this just widens. And so you can use the whole space of the page. Otherwise it's just going to have you in the middle, which is fine. And for some things that's probably helpful. You can also just change the fonts up here if you want. Sometimes I like this one just because it gives it kind of a different look. This is also an option. This is the default one that's always going to be there when you start a new page. So what I would do first, if we're building a new CEO page, is I would do columns. So you can type and I would do 3 columns. And so now it's split this section up. I don't know if you can see this, but we've got these 6 little dots here. So that's for like a little, like a line. And you can come over here now and here's the second one. And then here's the third one. So to set this up the way that I have on mine, so I have this money section first and then like a to-do section and then a quick link section. Going to go ahead and favorite this while we're working on it so that I can get to it easily. So over here we have money, and to get it to look the way that it does in that section, it's actually an H3, money. And then I changed the color to purple and I made it italics, and that just gives it like a nice funky little look. You can always change if you've set something up as one thing and you want it to be something else, you can change it. So I'm just going to change that back to H3. And then over here in the second section, Oh, you know what? I took that out of the column, or did I? I might have accidentally deleted the columns. Okay, let's try those columns again. Now for this, I'm actually just typing in what I want, what I'm looking for, and it's pulling it up. Okay, now we're back into the columns. Over here, I want to do each and type to do. And again, I want to make it purple, or you can make it, green, whatever color you want. Okay, and italics. And then let's do our quick links real quick. H3. Make this guy pink. Then italics. Great. I have a little window for my recording and it's in the way. Okay. Awesome. So there's our 3 columns. Now, what I have here is a database, basically. So what I'm going to do here is create one just super quick, and I'm going to make it a full page, which means it's going to open up a new page. So this is going to be called like money or incoming money or whatever you want to call it. And then you could put like, the name would just be like, I don't know, client 1. And then you could put property, number property. And then I want to have this number property be dollars. There we go. So it's who paid me and how much did they pay me. So essentially what that is. Now, if we come back over here to this, now we're going to have this money page. Then I'm going to move over here to quick links. And here I want to put database, but I want to do a table view, and I want to choose link to existing data source. And now I'm going to choose money, and I'm going to do this one that we just created. And that's going to put that little database right here in this column so that you can see it. And then all I did from there was I just kind of shrunk it down so that I could see specifically what I want to see. And then you could probably even, if you've got space, I tend to move this over so that the 2 side columns are a little bit smaller and the one in the middle is bigger. This over like that. And then if you typed in like client 1 paid you $500, then you've got, there it is, your total for the month. And I wanted to show you how to get the total calculation at the bottom of this. So I went ahead and added a second payment so that I could show you how to calculate. Okay. And then more options and then sum. And what that's going to do is add up your total here at the bottom of your little table. So then every time you add a new payment in, it's going to give you the total. So you could do this and like filter it by the month if you put the dates in there so that you can really see what your income is currently for the month. Okay. The next thing that I have on my dashboard is a big to-do list. And so this is also a database. But before I dive into that, I want to just give you like a little bit of a quick overview of like some of the other Notion options, because I know I'm just like typing them in and you might be sitting there like, okay, but there's so many options. Okay. So to view all of the things that you can do inside of a Notion page, you just want to click the / button. It's going to bring up this menu. It's going to suggest things for you based probably most likely on what you were just doing or whatever. But if you scroll through here, you can see everything. So we've got headings. So this is just for text to do different styles. Page is going to open up like a whole new page that you can basically like start over again and build something else entirely on that page. And basically everything lives in pages. Literally everything lives in pages. Everything you create is a page. Even these clients here, these are pages. I could go in and put notes about the clients there if I wanted to. So you're just so you can just scroll through here and see everything. So we've got plain text and then different headings, and then you could do bullet lists or numbered lists, to-do lists, like everything is in here. New pages, call out blocks are cool. They do this like little kind of background, and you could change the colors. Once you add it, you just click the 6 dots next to it and then color, and you can choose what color you want your call out box to be. So now it's purple, and you can also change your icons. And then if you ever need anything, you can just click the 6 dots again. And we've also got quote boxes. Tables are going to be more like a database. Actually, a table is it's just a table. It's just a table. It does not do functions or math or anything like that. The databases do. It's just a table for organizing, more or less. Go ahead and delete that. Dividers to add lines to your pages. You can link to other pages in here if you want to do that. You can add photos, videos, audio, all of the things in here. Bookmarks to web. Again, here's more tables. You can do different views. So you've got a database, you can do a gallery view so that you can have photos in it and it can show you those instead of just like lists. Feed views looks kind of like a social media feed, sort of. I haven't found anything personally that I use that one for yet, but I think it's really cool that it's an option. Dashboard views, like if you want different graphs in places, that kind of thing. Like there's really so many different options in here that you can use. So if you're not even sure what you want, just hit the splash bar and look through the menu and see, because you never know, like you might find something in there that you didn't even know that's what you're looking for. It also connects to a bunch of apps. So sometimes, that's really great too, because you can bring in information from those other things that you use that you can't replace with Notion, like Slack or whatever. So those are in here too, which I think is really cool. Okay, so for this to-do list, we're going to do a database. There we go. I'm going to do full page again, just because I don't want it to live right here. I want it to have its own page. And then I'm going to bring a view of it back into this page. So I'm going to click full page. It's going to create a whole new page. I'm going to call this business. All right. And then this is where you can start adding what you want to track as far as your to-do. So the name is probably going to stay the same. It's probably just going to be what the task is. You can rename this to tasks if you want. Then you can add a date and you can call this due date. I like to shrink these down so that they're not super huge. And these just work a lot like spreadsheets. What else do I have in mind? Okay, I have deadline. I have type. So this is one that I have set as a select. And for this, I have it as a business task. Is it a client task? Is it a career outside of the business or something? Maybe it's a kit task. So those all live here. And so then when I add a new task, I can choose what type that tell me, maybe the urgency level. I've also got status and then priority. And again, you can just add one add or what you don't, or, don't add what you don't add. So I'll just add this. So complete assigns, not started, in progress, and change the click. And you could change these here, whatever you want. Click in progress, change the name here, whatever you want to do with that. And then I prefer to do, which that can, and that can totally be like you're done. You click done and it's done. I also I prefer kind of a checkbox done, or if you prefer a checkbox done, this is how you would do it. And then what I like to do is a filter by done. If it is unchecked, and then show the tasks. And then that way, when it is done, it will go away. And I love that. But you could also filter by status and do the same thing so that when you select the done, it goes away. And I love that. And so that is all you got to do to add a database with your to-do list. Just click new page, schedule post. When does that need to be done? Add a date, add a type, status, done. Okay. Now let's go back over here to our main page. And again, this is the page that it created, just like the one for the money. So I'm just going to drag this over here to quick links. And then right here, what I want to do is create basically a view of that to-do list. All right. So now I'm going to we're going to choose table view and then link to existing data source. And then I'm going to look for business to-dos that I just created right here. And then you'll see it pulled over the schedule of the post, July 16th, all of that we just did. Now you also see right here that it's showing the one that I checked off that should be done. So you just want to, once you have your view set up in here, you just want to click the filter button and reset up that filter for this view. And so as long as it says done unchecked, then it will only show you the ones that are unchecked, which are the ones that are done. So underneath my to-do list, I have my content tracker. So I just kind of did the same thing. So I'm just going to do an H3 header here that says content tracker or content to post or just content or whatever you want it to say. Literally, it could be anything. Green text with an italics. And then again, we're going to just do the same thing where we just do a database. We want it to be full page and we don't need to link this one. This is actually going to be a new one. So you just kind of put in whatever you want to track as far as your content goes. So you could do date, like what date do you want it posted? And then maybe a select of which platform it's going on. Again, you would just come in here and do Instagram, and then maybe YouTube. And so then when you've got new content to add in here, you would just choose, which one it is that you're putting on. I like to do, again, the checkbox that indicates that it's posted so that it goes off of my list. This would be scheduled or posted. And then again, you would just filter based on that so that they go away whenever that's done. Filter based on posted is unchecked. Could do the content type. Is it a post, a reel, a blog? Again, you can totally customize this however you want and so forth. And then put this in here. Perfect. And then again, we'll come back over here. I'm going to move this page link to quick links, and then we're going to do another view, link to existing data source, and voila. And then again, you can come in here and tweak how you want the view to look on this page. Now, for example, if you don't want all of your columns to show in this view of your dashboard, then you can hide some of them. So you can come over here to settings and go to property visibility, and you can see all of them here and they're all turned on. But if you don't want to see the content type on this view, you can hide it. It's still going to live over on the full page in the full database, but you don't have to see it here on this page if it's not relevant to you. If you just really want a really super quick look at whatever, you can hide the things that you don't want to see. And I think that's something that's really cool. That's enough to get you started with your dashboard. I think once you get in here and start playing around, you're going to really love it. Just take a look at it again real quick, because I think we've covered a good bit of it. I don't want to overwhelm you, and I could go on and on about this stuff now for days, and I don't want to do that, at least not in this one video. So we've got your money tracker, we've got your to-do list, we've got your content tracker. You would follow the same steps to create like a client tracker. So I would definitely do that. This one is just a bunch of check boxes, and all I did was shrink it down so that all I can see are the icons. That's how I made that so small. And then it just gets checked off once I've got paid, basically. And then that one will go away because it'll be done. This is just a list. That's all that is. These are just linked pages. These are just linked pages. These are just linked pages. These are buttons, which I can show you how to make a button real quick. Do you want to make a button to add to your income? Let's do that. Super easy, and probably my favorite thing I've learned since diving back into Notion. Let's go back over to our temporary bill. So basically, we're just going to come over here or wherever you want to put your button, and it doesn't even matter because you can move it later, and type / and button, and it's going to add a button. You can call it whatever you want to call it, and you can give it a little icon. And then what you want to do is set up the action. So we're going to do new action, and we're going to add a page, and you're going to select where you want to add your page. So in this case, we want to add it to the money database. And then I want you to click this add action button and choose open page form, and then select the page added and then center peak. And what that's going to do is just open the box up in the middle of the page so that you can fill it out. So what we're going to do now is hit done. And now we've got this little add button. I know it's like cut off, but if we make the column bigger, this will also just depend on your screen size and your window size. We're going to hit add income, and it's going to pop up this window. So you're going to add your new income and say just, I don't know, client 3, and then add to the number property, you're going to add how much money it was. It's going to auto format it into dollars, so you don't have to do anything there. And then that's all you need to do. And you'll click out of the box. And then here you can see client 3, and it automatically added your $300. You can see that it added the $300 and it added it to your total, which is exactly what we wanted it to do. Perfect. So that's how you can create buttons, and you can do buttons for all kinds of things, like pretty much almost anything. Click button is clicked, and then you just choose your new action. Like, what are you trying to do? I honestly haven't played with a lot of these. I really like the adding the page to the, like I use that now for everything. I want a button for everything. Open up a specific page with the click of a button. Maybe you don't want to have to like search for it or whatever. Like do that. Choose your page that you want to open. Done. There's our new button. I didn't name it, so it says new button. If I click that now, it's going to open up my home dashboard. There it is. Because I want you to stop listening to me ramble and go build your CEO dashboard so that you actually finally have everything all in one spot, because we don't have a million hours a week to work on this stuff, right? Okay, now let's talk about time. Building this from scratch is very doable. We just did it in like a few minutes, right? But if you're sitting there thinking, I do not have a free evening to build all of this, I get it, because I build in the pockets of time too. And because of that, I keep done for you setups and systems and templates over in the shop so that you can start from something instead of a blank page. That's linked below if you want it. And if you need to go through your business's back-end systems first before you start building things like this, then you can grab my free after hours tech audit. It kind of walks you through your systems and what's working and what's not working and what you may need to cancel or not cancel or finish setting up. You'll have a big picture overview of what all needs to be done. And then you can come back to this and start building out your dashboard. Now, one final thing I want to share is this business hub isn't about having like the prettiest Notion on the internet. Probably nobody else is going to see it but you anyways. It's about having one that you trust enough when you're tired. Like, you know, when you're tired, but you have a few minutes and you need to get something done, you can open it and it's going to show you what you need to get done. And you know it's going to be like the next most important thing or the next thing that needs to be done. So if you don't get anything else done right now or the next time you sit down to work, build the 3 trackers, link them to your homepage or your business CEO dashboard page, and call it done. And next time you work, pop into those, see what you need to do, and then check them off. You'll know for next time exactly what needs to be done. We're going to work on building out the content tracker. I'll show you how to plan out content either a week or a month at a time, however far out you want to do it, without it like becoming a second job or third job or fourth job. So if you built this hub today or you build it in the next week, that's going to be your next video, and I will see you there.